this is an interesting topic of conversation. There's so many people that comment on YouTube being like, why is this all gear?
Yeah.
Why are we only talking about gear? And then photographers will try to put something out about the art or about the mindset.
You can count the views on one finger.
literally on one finger.
You're listening to the Shoot Your Shot podcast with Lindsay and Tim.
Welcome back to the Shoot Your Shot podcast. My name is Tim.
My name's Lindsay.
And this is the community-driven podcast for photographers who are just like you, listening, watching, enjoying us on YouTube and all the places you enjoy podcasts. Welcome back to the show, Lindsay. It feels like it's been a long time.
It
hasn't been.
Does it? No, it feels like it was. I don't know about you. I had the flu last week. So,
you were not well.
The last time I was on the Earth and Present was actually the day we recorded our last episode. So
how are you feeling now?
I feel great. Good. I mean, not the literal last day, but like the last day I was in the studio and working was literally the day. I can't believe you didn't get sick, actually.
I know.
Because it was 1 week ago. And then later that day, and in the morning I said, I have a really bad headache, like a doozy of a headache. And then I got the actual influenza. Mm-hmm. So anyways, should have got my flu shot earlier. Whoopsie daisies. Didn't do that.
Yep.
Now I'm probably immune to at least whatever bug I got. But I'm here and we're happy. And that's all I have to say. So I'm sorry that it felt like a really long time.
That's okay. No, I'm glad you're feeling better. You got a lot done. I got some done. Delivered a couple weddings. Feeling really good about that.
Oh, that's so nice.
Going
I'm
to the
very jealous.
Season, only a few more to shoot at the DTK Chapel. So small boys, but you know.
You know what's incredible?
What is that?
You can really go from feeling like very on track with editing and delivery. And
don't I know it?
And then within
minutes, it seems.
It feels I blinked and there I went right on back into not being on top of things. So I've had to say no to a few things in the last like 48 hours, just like while I'm feeling better. Now it's a weekend, of course, and I don't have weddings. I had some time off. It was Taylor's and my anniversary.
8 years?
I think 8. Taylor and I were like counting on our fingers.
Yeah. What's
2017.
The paper? What is it? The paper's 2.
Oh, no, I have no idea.
You have no idea?
Every year somebody asks me this. Taylor and I don't prescribe.
Okay.
I have no idea. Like, but maybe we should.
Isn't that the idea? Like, it was like this thing where it's like year 3 is like gold. So you have something to get each other.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Okay, you don't give a shit.
We don't give each other gifts for our anniversary either, which maybe is weird.
No, that doesn't matter.
I just tell him to write me a nice note.
Yeah.
I just want a nice letter. That's all I really care about. So, we went away on Friday and came home yesterday. Today's Sunday. We're recording literally the day before. So sorry,
what's up,
everybody. There's no backlog.
You're hearing this an hours before.
Wow, did they record this like weeks in advance? No. At some point in the wedding season, we do have like a little bit of a
backlog.
Yeah, like waiting because we need it. But at this time of year, flu season. Anyways, I am feeling very behind and I've had to start saying no to some personal things and family stuff, which never feels nice. But you know what? What also doesn't feel nice is getting emails, just checking in on this.
Oh my God. I haven't gotten any of those yet, thankfully. I'm still like a few weeks ahead of stuff, which is nice.
Oh my gosh, so nice.
But it feels like it's just been piling up. A lot of YouTube stuff for Jeff. I'm a little bit behind on Jeff. You're listening and watching, Michelle. I'm so sorry. But it's coming.
I do. I owe them something too. This is the thing. I'm like, I owe everybody things right now, it feels. Yeah. But you know what? Don't we all?
Don't we all?
Live laughing and loving here. And
if you didn't already know, we roll the Magic 8 Ball every episode, beginning of every episode. We tried to, at least last week we did not, as you probably know, dear listener. Do you have any questions for this thing, Lindsay?
Yeah. Okay. Will I have everything completely delivered by this Friday? Like
Magic 8 Ball.
Monday today.
Tell us. Can't say now. So maybe later?
Okay. It's going to have to happen. So hopefully I don't end up with another virus because that would be pretty much the only thing holding me back from getting literally everything done. Because I must. Because we're doing our own Christmas party on the weekend with our friends, Jeff and Michelle and Kelly and Taylor.
When you said that, I'm like, I don't think I got the invite. Then I remembered, yes, I am going to that party. Yes.
I'll be you're there. Coming. Yeah.
Like with the jingle balls back on? That's exciting.
Yeah, no. No.
We got some mail, Lindsay. And I've kept this from you deliberately because I wanted to get your live reaction because it's adorable.
You know what's so funny? Tim sent me a picture of this
envelope
post mail.
Yep.
Like the day that I got really sick. And if you ever read like a text message or multiple text messages while you're sick, and it feels like, I guess this is where the term fever dream came from because I was like, was that real? And then a few days ago you were like, hey, did you see my message about that?
You were out of it.
It was a dream I had, but now it's real. So actually, I feel like I made it come into fruition.
If you want to send us a letter that's not malicious, we would love that.
We don't want malicious
mail. We don't want anthrax. We don't want scary things. So
But if you want to send us nice mail,
our address is right now on the screen. So
happy mail only.
Happy mail only,
Thank
please.
You so
Thank you so much, Lindsay. You can open this.
I'm so
I'd love your live
excited.
reaction to this.
Okay, so first of all,
Don't give their address. I guess I don't know. I tried to cover it there.
of course, I'm not going to give their address.
I thought you were going to start reading from the top.
No, first of all, I was going to say
Yes.
that it came from the United States of America.
Hell yeah.
So love that. We have a lot of American listeners. And the other thing that I really love is that it's like Shoot Your Shot podcast and our names and our address is all handwritten. And it's not often that you get a handwritten thing anymore. Everything is all so automated.
There's two there. I'll let you read those.
There's two. Okay. Do you know which one I start with?
This one. Yeah, that one.
Okay. Here we go. You've got it here. The United States Postal Service priority mail. This is a note. Okay. Lindsay and Tim, ignore that this is written on a U.S. post office label. It's busy season and life is lifing. Just wanted to say thanks for being such a light in other wedding photographers' lives, and I'm sure not just wedding photographers too. Listening to you makes me laugh so I don't cry and also feel so validated. Keep it up, Jen Wolf. P.S. My kids wanted to send you some art. It's no magic 8 ball, but I hope it makes you smile. They love listening to swear words. Also, always okay. Jen
Wolf, thank you so much.
I'm so sorry about all the swears. You know what? It's funny. I mean, obviously, Tim and I don't have any human children.
Nope.
And I do try to actually, you should hear how much swearing goes on in the studio when it's not just when it's Tim and I on our own. Yeah. But we get carried away. We get riffing on this. This is a real, in the moment thing. And then I'm like, oh, Tim, you might have to go back and remove something.
And that's Jen Wolf with an E photo from New Orleans and Connecticut.
That is so nice. Okay, wait.
Thank you so much.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, there's some art here, so I'll let you.
I'm so excited. Kids art, honestly, is some of my favorite. Oh, no way.
Yeah, dude, that's us.
You're kidding me.
On the phone.
Oh my gosh, on the phone. This is fully. Wait, do we have the kids' names? I need to give the kids a.
I only know one.
From Poppy Wolf. Yeah. Oh my, Jen Wolf Photography's child. 2 Shoot Your Shot podcasts, Tim and Lindsay, and even a Christmas tree and a snowman. And we've got our phones like we have in our branding photos. Wow. Poppy, this is the coolest thing
Thank
ever.
You, Poppy.
Honestly,
Real cute.
Thank you so much. I am obsessed with this. This is going to go up. I'm so bad at angling things on the camera here. Poppy, your artwork is going up on our fridge.
Yeah.
We have a fridge.
Yeah.
I was going to say on the proverbial fridge. No, we literally have a fridge. This is going to go up on the fridge in the
with
studio.
Its magnets. Yeah.
Wow. You know what, Tim? That feels so nice.
Isn't that sweet? I opened it. I'm
really
like, this is what a lovely thing to receive.
Now, if you had sent me this while I was on Tylenol cold and sinus,
you would have thought for sure it's a fever dream. Yeah.
There is no. I would have checked myself into a hospital for sure. I'd be like, and then I had this weird dream that Poppy from New Orleans sent us a picture.
Jen, thank you so much. Really appreciate that letter.
Jen, that is so
we
cool.
love artwork. That's beautiful stuff. So thank your kids for us.
Is Poppy a photographer? A budding?
Well, she's an artist at least in some regard.
Sure.
So
everyone's an artist, but Poppy, you are a true artist, and we love you and we appreciate you. Cheers to Poppy.
Cheers, Poppy. Merry
Everybody,
Christmas, Poppy.
wait, do we have an applause?
We do.
Get some applause going.
Thank you, Poppy. Appreciate you.
Wow.
Lindsay.
Yes, Tim.
There's purpose to this episode beyond us just riffing and enjoying some listener mail. Mm-hmm. We have a question from a listener.
Get out of here.
I think long time, first time. Figure it out. You want to read this one?
Sure.
Should I read this one?
Why not? No, I'll give it a read. Noelle from eastcoast.captures. Okay. Actually, I think I saw this one pop into our Instagram and I knew that you were going to bring it to the pod, so I didn't read it properly. So here we go. Okay. Lindsay and Tim, I would love your advice. I'm currently shooting on a Canon R6 Mark II and in contemplating switching to the Nikon Z system. Prior to switching to mirrorless, I shot for personal use on a Nikon 7500, which I loved, but switched to Canon when I started to take my work more seriously, as it was what all the it girls were using.
Yep.
During this off season, I had plans to upgrade my second camera body and invest in a 28 to 70 for wedding days. But my heart is pulling me back to Nikon, and my brain is telling me I don't have the funds to fully replace my Canon kit. Valid.
Yeah.
So I'm asking, should I stick it out and stay with Nikon? How crazy would it be to shoot
Stay with Canon.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. To stay with Canon. How crazy would it be to shoot on one Canon and one Nikon while transitioning? Love you both in the podcast. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Noelle, what a great question.
And that's Noelle at eastcoast.captures on Instagram. Noelle.
Thank you so much. Wow. Okay.
We've both been
Lots
through
here.
this, so I
Yep.
thought it'd be something apt to bring up
Yes.
on the pod so we can actually talk about our experiences
100%.
switching from from Nikon to Canon back to Nikon.
Yeah.
Which is where
It's
you're
expensive.
at. Yeah, it's expensive. So for me, it started during the pandemic when the autofocus of, actually, you know what? It starts way before then, actually. I should say. We were all shooting on Nikon. Myself,
Hell yeah, we were. 'cause
yourself,
all the hot girls were
Taylor
doing
Jackson,
it. The hot
all shooting on
girls
Nikon.
started out with Taylor.
Nikon switched. They did the mirrorless thing around 2019. They came out with the Z6 and Z7.
Yeah.
And we're all like, this is amazing. This is great. You can use your own lenses, get an adapter. This is incredible. So we all kind of jumped over to,
I did
well, not
not.
all of us.
I did not.
It was either you
I
adapted
had it in my hands.
or you decided to go with mirrorless on the Canon system, which was a bit older,
What was the DSLR you were shooting?
D850
Okay.
of the Nikon variety.
Just D850?
Two D850s.
Really? That's
Yeah.
heavy.
I was dual wielding.
Oh, yeah.
Before that, it was first one was D90, then D7000, I think, and then D800, and then D850.
I had the 850 and 750.
And 6,
And
right?
then
4? 6, 4? I don't know.
600. Yeah,
Okay.
600, 610. I had the 700, D700.
Yeah.
Everybody that's ever shot Nikon, the old OG Nikon,
Yeah.
knows the D700.
Still going, I'm sure, somewhere.
Probably the best camera they've ever created.
Yeah.
And then they said, you know what's not good for sales? Creating a perfect camera.
Yeah, so they made the D750, and that one was a
Made
bitch.
people leave the company.
Not happy.
750 is the reason why I shot an entire wedding on JPEG.
Yeah.
Rest in pieces.
Yeah.
Still great clients of mine. They have no idea that their wedding was shot on JPEG.
never
Thank
will.
God that happened like years into me shooting weddings. But anyway,
Was that your last Nikon before you switched to Canon?
so I had the 850 before
Okay,
I
you
switched,
did
and
the
I
850, yeah.
loved the 850.
Yeah.
It took I loved that camera so much that
Yeah.
the pull to mirrorless had to be significant. And
Right.
unfortunately, it was.
And it was for us. We all
Yeah.
switched as kind of a studio team here, pretty much overnight to Canon. Mm-hmm. We all
I
jumped
was a
on
little
there.
bit later. I'm always like
but you were, like, still there,
I like
like,
to let
you-
people like give it a go. Taylor shot
Sure.
it at a couple of my weddings, and
Yeah.
then I held it in my hands at one of my weddings during cocktail hour, and I was like, "Shit, this is
This
like
is
shooting
nice.
in easy mode."
And the autofocus was incredible
So
compared to
fast.
DSLRs. Like
Yeah.
it was a thing that we were all just very excited about. So we
Mm-hmm.
all jumped just around the pandemic to Canon from Nikon. I myself stayed with Nikon because I'd shot that Around the World with Taylor Jackson, featured by Nikon, sponsored by Nikon, where we had Z6. We went to like 8 different countries
Mm-hmm.
and we shot a bunch of YouTube stuff with that camera, for that camera, about that camera.
And I shot I don't think I'm actually allowed to use the name of it,
Okay.
because it apparently is trademarked.
Oh,
Craziest thing I've ever heard of. I don't think you should be able to trademark this, but imagine there was a series where, say, 4 photographers got together
oh,
and shot together in a challenge. Anyways, so 4 of us got together and did a shoot.
Yeah.
We shot the same model.
Yeah.
And I won't say that it was a 4 photographer challenge because that would be crazy, but it was a challenge with 4 photographers. So 4 of us got together, myself, Irene, Anita, and Taylor
Yeah.
in
Prague?
Malibu in
Malibu.
a beach house.
Oh,
and that was where I
yeah.
first shot that. And some of my favorite images ever, but the autofocus in backlight was not
It.
sufficient
Yeah.
at all. And that's shooting with one like static model.
And that was the first iteration of that camera.
Yeah.
So like they just rolled it out. It was
Yeah.
exciting. It was new.
stunning.
It was stunning. And they came up with updates like
The glass was gorgeous.
constantly updated. So they've gotten a lot better. Obviously Nikon is incredible these days with their autofocus. It's
Mm-hmm.
an industry leader. But anyway, back to the story of us switching. We all kind of switched at the same time. Before I switched to Canon, I was sold on the Z6. And so I had that one and I was dual wielding a Z6 mirrorless as well as a D850 because I'm like, I can't fully afford to invest in this. I'm not sure if I want to fully. So for a year or season, I shot on mirrorless as well as DSLR, and it was like
but Nikon still.
Nikon specifically.
And then from there, what made you actually? I don't remember what made you switch. Just because
Taylor showed me the 85 1.4 from Samyang.
So
which
crazy.
You cannot get anymore.
And it's so funny to think that a bunch of us switched because we saw that 85 Samyang, which
like, it's $400. Sign me up.
Well, and like, let me go and lose like 20 grand on resale on all this stuff. But like, and for a lens that actually was not even a Canon flagship lens. Like,
no, it was like a knockoff because Canon closed down the RF mount. They have proprietary lenses that they use for autofocus in the RF space. So if you're a third-party lens provider, you cannot make autofocus lenses for Canon.
Which I actually don't know that people realize that. Like, unless you're a Canon photographer and then you jump into Canon and you say, hey, I'm going to buy an R6 because I was on Nikon and Sony and all these other brands.
You want to get some Tamron lenses. You want to get some
Sigma, whatever. And you can always do that, right? And then you go and buy into the R6 or R5 or whatever. And you're like, what do you mean I have to buy a $4,000, 24 to 70. I don't think it's actually $4,000, but like there's no competition.
Yeah. They've appled themselves. They've garden walled themselves into their own ecosystem.
Yeah. Which like, I don't know, market share value it will be yet to be seen. I guess it is yet to be seen whether or not that was a good idea, because on one hand, they can always say the quality of our images is exactly what we've created it to be, because it's our glass, it's our it's our bodies. We know that it's going to be good. On the other hand, you've really like made it very inaccessible for a lot of photographers. And the interesting thing, the thing that I love the most about photography is that you could be 18 years old and somebody gives you like, your first like Nikon camera, and you can go out and buy like a lens, and then at some point you go and you buy another lens, and then you go out and buy maybe a better camera body.
You slowly build over time.
Yeah. And
you acquire.
And you can do that. And then maybe somebody gives you a hand-me-down Sigma or Tamron or whatever, and you can do it with some slightly less expensive models. And it's just, there's more creativity in it.
There is.
And it allows people that maybe don't have 15 grand to drop on a new system, because like Noel said, this is not a financially chill.
No.
You don't do
your
this.
heart says one thing, but your brain is telling you logically the money not into account. So you cannot just do it willy-nilly.
And to replace the Canon kit, like we're like realistically, we're talking, okay, so if you got two camera bodies, you have to, if you wanted to switch to the Z6 III, maybe you get a good Boxing Day sale, Black Friday sale, whatever.
Sure.
We should probably, maybe I should have done a little bit of research, but I want to say in Canada, like we're talking 2,800, is that right? For the Z6 III?
I think so.
Roughly around there. Okay. Don't quote me on that. I don't work for Nikon. So, okay.
And then 20 to 70. For wedding days.
Let's just call it $6,000 for two new just camera bodies.
Yeah.
Then if I was to do, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, please.
If I was to do the most minimal kit needed for a wedding, when I switched to Canon, this is actually what I did. I tried to go like literally the most minimal because,
what can I get away with?
Because this was a huge jump. I had gone from building my kit really slowly over
meticulously and like
years,
intentionally,
whatever. With like I bought a used 70 to 200 when I started out, and I used that for years on Nikon. And then I bought a 24 to 70 that I used again for years. Like that thing was so beat, it had a chunk taken out of the front of it.
Yeah, it was metal too. It was like full, like heavy, like a brick.
Serious.
Yeah, it was serious.
So I had a full kit. I had 24 to 70, 70 to 200. I had a 35, 85, 50. Yeah. I had the Sigma Art 50 1.4, gorgeous lens with Nikon. So if I was to do a 1-for-1 swap on all of that to Canon,
to sell all of your eggs,
20,000 probably, right? And sure, I did get some money back from Nikon, by selling things, but selling DSLRs when everybody had already started switching to mirrorless, there was no significant check coming my way.
Yeah, the market was getting smaller and smaller because everyone was upgrading, it seemed, at that point.
Like maybe a few $1,000s. So then, so switching from from Nikon to Canon when I had to go.
Yeah.
Here was the minimal kit that I went with.
Please.
I did 35, 50, 85.
Yep.
Because I had that Samyang 85. So that was a good deal because the Canon 85 is a fortune.
It's like triple the price.
It's
if not more.
absolute fortune. I think it's more. I think it's like 1,800. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, for the 1.4.
The 1.4.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I went with the 24 to 70.
Mm-hmm.
The 28 to 70 I don't think was out when I first switched.
No, that came a bit later.
But also wouldn't have appealed to me. That thing was way too heavy.
Yeah.
Then I tried to do the 70 to 200 f4, which I've talked about before, but that was me trying to save some money.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like a full-time, like working professional photographer. Like this isn't a hobby. This isn't a, chill, like, oh, I just do this on the side. And I was still saying, is it really worth it for me? To do the f2.8 versus the f4. I went with the f4. It was
worth it to do the 2.8.
I went with the f4.
The 2.8. Yeah.
I thought, I don't really shoot that many cathedrals. The next wedding I do is a cathedral and it's dark and it's shitty. And
wasn't it like a basilica? Like the
literally the Guelph Basilica. And I look back at those photos and I'm like,
oh no.
I mean, again, clients would never know how much work I did to to run denoise on that was insane.
This is like 2020, 2021. Like this is pre the AI services we have today to denoise things. Like the last 6 months, denoise has been incredible on Lightroom. So yeah.
So, I did learn from that that the f2.8 is a need for me in my kit. Yeah. So then when I switched from Canon to Nikon, and I was talking to Nikon about because it was like I properly publicly switched. Nikon did help me out by giving me some things. And I said to them, like, these are the lenses that I properly need in order to switch. I would have switched back to Nikon eventually anyways, but I would have done it in a slower way probably.
Let's talk about that because I'm curious. I think that's kind of the heart of what Noelle is talking about here. Mm-hmm. Is it feasible? Does it make sense to have one Canon and one Nikon as you're slowly transitioning to a different brand, to Nikon from Canon? Is that crazy to shoot on two different bodies?
It's not what I would do.
No. But if it was you and you didn't have support from Nikon and you knew you wanted it in your heart and it's something that you really think would improve your business, how would you go about slowly switching?
I would buy the two camera bodies that I needed.
Would you go for the latest version? What would you do? Where would you jump in?
So I mean, like
today's Nikons. Today's Nikons.
Yeah, the Z6 III is the GOAT. Yeah. Would I go for the Z8? Perhaps not.
Perhaps not.
So like I have the Z8. It's incredible.
Yep.
At some point, I would say the Z6 III and the Z8 is a killer. Like that's a deadly combo for portrait and wedding photographers.
Yeah.
Because you get the, higher megapixels. You get the more professional body of the Z8. It just has more flexibility, more capabilities. Like we did a commercial job. There was no question I was going to do the Z8, right? Yeah. If these people want to blow it up on a billboard, that's the camera that I need to be shooting this on, right?
Yeah.
However, for most of what I need, my clients are wanting a nice background for their phone, unfortunately.
True.
They want a great Instagram reel. And
8x12s.
They want to print something nicely in a 12x12 album.
Sure.
With other images on the screen. The Z6 III is so versatile. It is a gorgeous, easy to grab camera. It's so light. The buttons and all of the like menus are really, really accessible. One of the things that I hated on I thought when I was switching to the Z8 and Z6 III that the Z6 III was going to be more on par with like the D750 or like the 7,
right.
Like, or the 600 even.
Okay.
One thing I don't like on what brands deem to be not professional level cameras, obviously it's a professional level, but I don't know what the term is that they use. They've got their like big boys and then they've got their medium boys.
They're flagships.
So, okay. So not
Z9's
a flagship. It's still a professional camera, of course.
Yeah.
Is it all weather sealed? Things that are different, right? Like,
does it shoot hummingbirds at night? Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah.
the thing that I don't like is that they generally end up making something a little bit harder for you so that you're like, I have to go with the Z8 because the buttons are all a lot more accessible so that when I'm trying to like move quickly, I don't want to have to be searching through menus to change my ISO, I want to be able to remap buttons to custom settings so that they suit me and how I shoot.
Bingo.
I can shoot the same way on my Z8 as I can on the Z6 III.
That's amazing.
The biggest difference is just that the Z6 III is lighter.
Yeah.
Right? That's
smaller.
It's smaller and it's lighter.
Less megapixels,
And
but for what you deliver.
when we're
doesn't matter.
shooting, sometimes 40 hours a week of shoots. That's a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
My hands hurt. My thumbs literally click. We're not going to do it right now. And it gets exhausting.
Mine don't. Oh,
so I would say the ideal would be for me, the setup that I have, which is the Z6 III and the Z8.
Yeah.
If I was getting into switching right now,
Yeah.
I would not go a Canon and a Nikon. You're going to hate your life with editing, and color correction is going to be such a pain. They're such distinctly different colors, and you're going to love the Nikon colors, trust me. But then also what that means is that you have to keep lenses for both systems.
Yeah, you have to sell off strategically, which could be easy to do. Like you could just start doing like, okay, I'll sell the 35 1.8 on the Canon to get the 35. No,
logically, if I had to do it.
Okay.
If I had to do it.
Yeah.
And somebody said, like, gun to your head, you're doing a Nikon and a Canon.
Yeah.
Okay. I would keep, presumably you have like a 24-70 and 70-200 with Canon.
Let's see if she just mentions that here. I don't think so.
Okay. The 28-70.
No, she's
planned
invested in 28 to 70. So that's what she's looking to get.
Oh, she had plans.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I had, I guess we don't know what her lenses are like, but if I had like say a 24-70 or a 70-200 or both of those things, expensive like investment lenses, on Canon, then I would keep Canon specifically for when I need to use the 24-70 and 70-200.
Okay.
And then I would buy the Z6 III for the 35, 50, 85 combo.
Okay. What would you
'Cause
start with if you had to choose maybe one lens?
50.
50?
1.8.
Yeah.
It's so cheap.
Yeah.
And it's like a gorgeous lens. S, obviously.
S.
We know. We did the tiered list.
We did.
But go back and watch the
Check
tiered
the
list if
episode
you
out.
want to find out what lenses you should buy.
Yeah.
But I would say you could shoot, and I do, 90% of your wedding day on a 50 1.8.
Now you could also shoot 90% of your wedding day on one camera body and use.
Now I'm
this
kind
is
of
my
like,
suggestion. Oh,
now
right.
listen, I'm kind of like contradicting myself here.
Go
I
for it. What do you mean?
feel like, well, maybe you should do it. If all you're going to shoot on the 24-70 is like some wide shots, and not necessarily like the majority of your stuff is going to be shot on it, then maybe you could keep the Canon. I just wouldn't, if you're like a dual wielding photographer, then that would be cuckoo bananas.
Very
but
much
if
so.
you think that you can get away with like your second camera being literally a backup body, basically, then actually, yes, that would be a way to transition.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say sell everything minus a 35 on the Canon system. Invest in the Z6 Mark III. Is that what it's called?
Z6 III, not Mark.
Z6 III, pardon me. Z6 III, pardon me.
Mark is the Canon thing.
And get the 28-70 or the 24-70. There's also a 28-70 that I think Tamron makes for Nikon that's like a lot lighter than, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, for the Nikon system. That would be a great solution as like a one lens to rule them all kind
I'm
of
pretty
situation.
sure that's one that Taylor likes. I
Okay.
think.
He likes the 35 to 150, I think.
Don't know.
2.2.8.
Okay.
But if you got that solid lens, something with a 2.0 aperture for the Nikon system, and sell everything else barring an R6 Mark II and a 35mm lens, and keep that in your bag as a backup. I shoot 90% of my wedding days on one camera. Like if I need to, it's because something's not working or my cards are low, God forbid, or like a battery's dead. I'm like, oh shit, just do this really quickly and pull out the second camera.
Yeah.
So rarely do I need to dual wield on a wedding day, unless I'm just shooting primes and I feel like doing that day. Most of the time it's just 24-70 on my main
Honestly,
camera.
truthfully, the reason why I switch is it feels like the same thing as putting on a different pair of shoes.
True. Okay.
Like it changes up the ergonomics of my hand because I have two different camera bodies.
Right.
So I'll switch to the Z8
Same.
or whatever. That feels nice.
Yeah.
The other reason is I'm filling up a card.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to go from like, oh, I only shot on this to only shot on that.
Or you're shooting family formals on a 50 because you're like, we need to crush the backgrounds at 1.2 or 1.8. And then there's like, oh, we're getting extended family? Okay, cool. Just pull out the second camera,
this 24
mils, and then
yes, I can quickly say to my second, hey, can you pop a 24 to 70 on that one? Because I'm seeing this group is getting larger. Interesting. That was good.
That was good.
If I shot primarily portraits, 100%, I would switch one camera body at a time. I would be fine with that. If you're shooting weddings where you are like a dual harness kind of person and your regular mode is to shoot two cameras.
Mostly just primes? Yeah.
Like, first of all, I will say, I don't think that anyone needs to be going back and forth on cameras like the spider holsters, whatever would suggest that we need to do. Like, so many photographers are like, this one, and now this one, and this one, and now this one. And I'm like, I think maybe it removes a little bit of the creativity and like the
confinement of the creation of art, so to speak.
Like,
you're not
the confinement. I really enjoy being like, I've got the 50 on, so the 50 is what we're doing. The 50
today, is what we see today.
You know, and that's what we're going to work with, and that's how my eye is going to train. And I'm going to start seeing things at that focal length, and I'm going to start seeing things using that. I love that, you know, and for some photographers, it's like the 20, 20 mil, or 24 or 14 or whatever. Like, they've got one lens that's like their go-to.
God, I hope it's not a 14.
Shouldn't be a 14. Didn't you shoot a 14 at that commercial job we just did?
I did because it's because it's landscape.
Oh.
Yeah, I need to show more of the space, and it was video, so I needed to do that.
Okay, different.
Yeah, and it was a 16.
16, my mistake.
So I'm showing off the space. It was for a hotel chain.
But so I can see how you could switch if you were primarily doing families, maternity, newborns. You can definitely make a transition. There's usually very good Black Friday sales. I have no inside scoop, so don't hear me saying that thinking like Nikon's told us that there's something good coming. We literally have no clue.
We have no idea. We know when you know.
But I just usually see that being a time.
Yeah.
Here's my other thinking.
Please.
And anytime I have switched systems, and Taylor will do this as well, we generally do it right now at this time of year specifically, because here's my reason. Not necessarily that you're going out and buying the next camera yet, but you start selling things off. If you have a camera that people will want and they will want to buy for potentially a Christmas gift, or potentially they're trying to get some expenses in before like the tax year closes, now is the time to trade that thing in. Yeah. First of all, a little bit of extra money before the end of the year. What a treat.
Not mad.
But this is a huge, huge buying time. And then it's not just like a gift time, because like, okay, well, is somebody going to buy your Z6 III?
That'd be nice.
As a gift? That would be quite the gift. But I don't know about you, Tim. I do a lot more shopping for myself at this time of year and shopping for other people.
Yeah.
Like it's
shop season.
It's a very spendy time.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, you know what? I do need that. Yeah. Why? Because the marketing is going crazy.
Because I need to support the economy.
The economy is dwindling.
Needs us. And also, it's a good time of year because ideally and maybe statistically, you as a wedding photographer are shooting less. You probably still have a couple family formals, maybe some seasonal minis. Maybe you have some elopements or some travel stuff coming up for destination weddings, but primarily busy season for most photographers who are in the Western, Northern Hemisphere, notwithstanding Australia. You're shooting less. And so you have more time to sit on the couch, tinker with this camera, and not be worried about like, okay, I just switched systems. I have a wedding on Saturday. It is Thursday. Shit. What do I do? I shot a wedding with Nova just after I did video for her and she did photo. This was like 2022, 23 maybe.
It can't be recently.
It was just before she went to Mexico.
This is our friend Nova Marquina, by the way.
She lives in London. What's up, Nova?
She lives in Nova. She lives in
Nova Scotia.
She lives in London / Playa del Carmen.
Yeah, so she's a bit of a snowbird with her husband and family, and she just got the R6 Mark I, whatever the first one, and she got a mid-season. It was like June or July, and she did not know a lot of the functions and features because she came from a Nikon world.
Right.
And she handed to me, she's like, this is not working. Why isn't eye tracking working? I'm like, I don't know. I shoot on Nikon right now.
Yeah.
So I had to go through and like fumble through the settings. So that was a real world situation of like, she just switched back. I think she was still using Nikon. Like she did
still have it with her for sure,
if I remember correctly. And we knew that it was a good system. I'd seen Taylor use it. I'm like, well, this should work. I don't understand. I think it was like an autofocus setting for eye tracking and face tracking.
Yeah.
That wasn't enabled, but because everything's kind of backwards and opposite, because Nikon, they switch it. They invert it, right? Even the focus is backwards on Nikon. So it's something to get used to.
And another thing a lot of people do when they switch from DSLR to mirrorless is that they still keep setting their focus points the same. And I will notice this with my second photographers because there's so much ceiling. And I'm like, why is there so much ceiling? And then I realize, you don't have your like eye tracking on, or you may have it on, but you're still shooting it like you had to
compose
focus and recompose.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, but you don't, first of all,
you don't gotta do that.
You can't do that. That's not happening. And if you are doing that, that is bananas.
Edge to edge focus.
But this time of year would allow you the opportunity to take photos of your dog, take photos of your kids,
sit on the couch, take photos of people in the movies, just like see how the eye tracking works on your TV. It works really well. It's fun.
Some of the first photos I shot on the Nikon system, again, when I switched to the Z, and also on Canon, were like Christmas family photos. I'm like, hey guys, it's me taking photos of your kids again.
I remember you set up a styled shoot when you got your Nikon to before WPPI this past year.
Yeah.
When you switched over, you're like, I don't have enough. You're on stage. You're going to speak in front of everyone and talk about your experience with the switching to the Z6 Mark.
Yeah, and I could speak very like honestly and very candidly about my experience shooting on Nikon because I loved the brand and I had shot with Nikon for years.
Yeah.
But I had shot on Taylor's Nikon cameras that he had since then and other people's,
But it was February, you just got these new cameras, you're like, cool, but I don't have any weddings until April and the WPPI is in March.
Truthfully,
so what are we doing?
I did have one wedding.
Okay.
And I, love all the love to these couples. I'll never shit on my couples for their decision making. But first of all, it was January, which is not my speed. It's not really my speed.
It's also not your setting.
My aesthetic is very green and light filled, and even if it's like white, I try to keep things, bright, not light and airy, but I like a brightness to my images.
Sure.
It was January and it was gray. And their primary color of their wedding was
purple,
turquoise,
like
teal,
like a turtle,
like a tealy turquoise.
Okay.
So it wasn't like it wasn't the photos that I wanted to be like, hey, world, here I am as a Nikon creator. They weren't. They're photos that I love and I'm proud of for them for sure as my clients, but like as the photos that represent my work and my aesthetic.
Yes.
And it's not my business to be making work for my clients that fit my brand and my aesthetic. It's like,
and you're going to be on a very public stage in front of peers and people in the Nikon and basically the world. The free world of photography was going to be watching you on stage locally as well as broadcast to whatever channel they had. So you wanted to represent yourself in a way that's like, this is me.
Yeah. So then I was chatting with my friend Gabby, who is a model and
makeup artist and YouTuber.
Yeah. Yep. And so I was like, hey, would you want to model with your husband and do some photos at a studio so that I could make some images that felt a little bit more aligned with like my look, and also I can direct the whole thing then, right? There's you can't say, oh, I'm not proud of these images when you literally directed the entire thing produced it from top to bottom. Yeah. But I would say, regardless of what you're needing the images for, it's a great idea to get models together, whether the models are your friends or your parents or somebody, and just do a shoot that you control the look of, where you can goof around with the camera a little bit, right? Like you can get to know it, you can understand your settings a little bit more.
That's one of the things I loved about switching from DSLRs. And I know we're not really discussing specifically because you're already shooting on mirrorless, Noelle. But like when we were able to go from DSLRs to mirrorless cameras, being able to have the ability to do in-camera double exposures and see like an onion ring or an onion skin of like the previous image you took and be able to frame things that way, that was such a delight. It was like one of those things I didn't know about until I was like mid-wedding. I'm like, oh, I should have been playing with this a lot more because this is a fun feature that up until that point I had no idea I could do easily. And
the other reason it's fun to watch people on YouTube shoot, to do like behind the scenes wedding days, or to watch other photographers shoot if you can get to second shoot with somebody else, because there's stuff I guarantee that I don't know about my camera still, because when you're working and you're full time, you're just going. You're like, this thing works. I know how it works. I'm going to go now.
Let's go with the flow. Yeah.
We don't all have time to like, let me explore this. Like that's a real nice luxury.
It's a real luxury you have right now.
You're probably not like a mom. You're probably not a mom. Let me just say that. Have you ever noticed how many behind the scenes wedding day YouTubers are dudes?
Like 99.999%. Thanks, Taylor. Thanks,
probably
Taylor
not
Jackson.
you're just probably not the primary parent, and it's no shade to them, but you're probably not the primary parent.
Yeah.
A lot of primary parents are full-time working photographer women a lot of the time.
Oh yeah.
And again, zero shade. That's just how.
I think you might be the most.
I'm not here to talk about the patriarchy.
I think you might be the most viewed behind the scenes because of Taylor Jackson doing 3 or 4 wedding behind the scenes of you.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of like incredible female photographers in the wedding space, but that just aren't doing behind the scenes wedding days because, well, that's a huge commitment.
I think a lot of it is short form. I think a lot of it is like TikTok or Instagram, like
for sure.
Camera on top of or cell
Nicole
phone on top of the camera.
Yes. Stacey Brooks. Yeah, there's tons of like
Vanessa Joy.
Lots and lots of talented female photographers, but like a full behind the scenes wedding day to see people like dicking around with their cameras. It's mostly dudes, and I'm like, well, I won't dick around with my camera the way you do. So respectfully,
I think that it comes down to like a gear focused ecosystem that we're all kind of in. I feel like guys really dig into like the dynamic range and the shutter speed and how's the rolling shutter. Like
you don't hear them talking
about
you don't hear them talking about do your nails get in the way of that button working?
Do you want to use my butane powered hair curler because the little wispies are out of space? You know what I mean? Like that's
they wouldn't even think of it.
They wouldn't think about that because they're it's a different mind.
Yeah.
It's a different way of looking at the world, and also majority of men who photograph weddings have never been a woman. I feel
most probably have.
I'm gonna say majority.
There's definitely a few that have been,
for sure.
I would say that's funny. I would say, it's not wrong to have a gear focus.
No,
the reason why, and I actually this is an interesting.
Let's get into it.
This is an interesting topic of conversation. There's so many people that comment on YouTube being like, "Why is this all gear?
Yeah,
why are we only talking about gear?" And then photographers will try to put something out about the art or about the mindset. You
can count the views on one finger.
literally on one finger.
Yeah.
And the other reason is also because brands are not going to invest in creators who are talking about the art behind things. Yeah. And it's really important that we start working with brands and remind brands that that's actually where we want things to go also. Like we would like to be talking more about let's talk about mental health. Let's
the creative
talk
process.
About,
let's talk about how to make people feel comfortable on a wedding day, even though they're incredibly nervous and anxious about the experience of being photographed or just being in front of people. Like you have to, I think as photographers, not to get too in the, philosophical space, but you need to be kind of a guiding light as well as a photographer, as well as like someone who captures the day of like how you want this to go, because ultimately what you capture is people's emotions. And if you can't help them and guide them to a space where they feel comfortable enough to like show themselves in a real authentic way, you're doing a disservice.
Yeah.
I think I could be wrong. There's photographers out there who are like,
and like you can say that and then say sponsored by Imagine, but
totally.
That's that. I mean that. And actually it's part of the reason why I like working with Imagine specifically is because I think I am a brand ambassador for Imagine. I have a contract with them and they pay me to talk about the brand. Yeah. They don't say what I have to say. No. I could make a reel literally.
As long as you don't shit on them.
I could, and I have made reels and content that is about like my newsletter. That's about mental health and feeling like life sucks and this is hard and it's really hard to create when you're in the freaking weeds.
Yeah.
And how this brand helped me. And it's true, like how using a brand like or a product like Imagine has helped me still maintain some semblance
balance
of a business,
of a life, in a business,
while being in the weeds, and because there's no mental health leave. I'm not able to take a break. I can't say to my clients from March, hey, I had like a really rough month in April, so your stuff's going to be delivered in July
of 2027.
I could say that. And listen, if you're a photographer that's done that, zero shade to you, but my clients would not be too excited about it.
No.
So being able to say, well, I powered through and I got this stuff done, and have a sponsored by Imagine. I like those kinds of brand deals. I think
you're a
that's
brand,
delightful, but we're
going to hit you up real soon so you can sponsor the show. And only brands we really care about, and we would use ourselves and do use ourselves. So that's what we're about. We're not going to take a camera apart. We're not going to show you the CCD or the LC, whatever the part you can't touch with your finger. What is that called? I'm a photographer. Sensor.
Don't touch it.
We're not going to do that. We're going to talk about
Yes.
how it can emotionally affect you and help your couples and create a better experience for everyone. Because I think that's what we're all trying to get to. It's that intangible thing about gear that it's like the ghost in the machine. It's the thing we can't really put our finger on, but it affects all of us.
Interestingly enough, Tim,
Please.
if we go back to what Noelle said here, this is actually the driving force behind why people switch systems. It has nothing to do with megapixels and Zs and marks and blah, blah,
But read
blah.
out which sentence you feel is the
My heart is pulling me back to Nikon. Okay. Her heart is pulling her there. Wait, let's go back. What did she say? I switched to Nikon when I started taking my work seriously, as it's what all the it girls were using.
all the popular girls.
Because this is what drives
The
people.
plastics.
It's what are
It's the Mean Girls reference.
it's the Mean Girls reference. Hopefully they weren't the Mean Girls.
go here.
But the people that Noelle was following, the people that Noelle was like consuming the content of, and she enjoyed, and when she was looking at their work and she said, gosh, I want my work to look more like that.
Yeah.
That's what they were using, right?
Yeah.
And now her heart is telling her Nikon, gosh, I wonder why.
Yeah.
And I would imagine, there's probably some Zs and dots and MPs and blah, blah, blahs that are all in the mix in there.
Zeds and dots.
But part of the reason why, we've said it probably a billion times now, this isn't a gear podcast, but part of the reason why I never, ever wanted to talk with people about gear. People come up to me at weddings still and say, oh, what are you shooting on? And listen, I'll talk to you about gear because I'm literally a Nikon creator.
Yeah.
But I work with Nikon. I love Nikon. I will speak to you about my gear. But what I really want to talk to you about is like, but did you see this image? This is so cool. Look at this moment that we caught. I caught this because it was so quick. It was easy for me to get this. It was because the 1.2 makes that so unbelievably easy for me to switch from a bright setting to a dark setting and still not have to pop a flash on and make this a clunky experience. And yes, I'll talk to you about gear, but what I want to talk to you about is like, I haven't missed a moment in years.
Because you feel like that camera that you have is an extension of your body. You've gotten so used to it and you've customized it in a way that like allows you to get out of your own way and take the photos and create the magic and the art that you can, because you understand it and you connect with it with your heart.
Actually, Jason Vincent put out a really lovely little reel. If you're not following Jason, go follow Jason. What the heck? A really great reel.
Jason, if you're listening, stop doing AI slop. Cut it out.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Oh, he does so much AI slop.
Oh, no.
Stop it. It's cute and funny, but you need to cut it out.
Okay, well, I'm not going to stop you from doing that because I put a
I will.
corncob pipe in my mom's mouth in an AI video the other day. So Jason made a reel that was like, when you're looking for a wedding photographer, you're, I'm paraphrasing poorly, but you're going to think that you want like a photographer that can make these like perfect squares.
Yeah.
But the real thing that you should be looking for in a photographer is like proper moments and like proper. And then of course he shows his work.
This is
Holy
stunning.
shit.
Yeah.
The one photo that actually got me, oh my God, hopefully, we're going to have to find it.
The sad, the tear? No? Which one?
I've seen that. I loved it. No, this one was actually really unexpected for me to even catch on Instagram because I had to look at it so slowly.
Okay.
Was a cathedral. He's at the end where like presumably the groom is standing over his shoulder and he's looking down this long, long aisle, and it's a silhouette of a dad holding his arm out, and his daughter, the bride, is walking over towards his arm. Do you see that one?
Oh, this one.
Do you believe that? That is crazy. Bring it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, we're doing you a terrible service here, Joe.
Beautiful little silhouette.
But it's dad and his arm out.
Yeah.
In this, sure, good gear makes this happen, but an incredible photographer not being held back by the limitations of his gear makes this possible.
Exactly.
Right? Strong editing, strong moments. I can't imagine how much chromatic aberration he had to get rid of.
How many
on this
iPads you
shot.
had to get rid of? How many iPhones? It must be insane.
I'm actually very curious because that is a dark as hell room. I don't know.
Having taken his
did an incredible
workshop,
job on that.
he spends so much time meticulously going through every image. Like this one of the gentleman with the tears.
Just bring it on back over here.
He goes through and he paints the tear so it shows up a little bit more contrasty.
Yeah.
But he spends so much time on single images that you'd be like, oh, that's kind of a nothing image. And he goes in, starts editing for like 20 minutes. You're like, not even 20 minutes. Sorry, I should say like maybe 3 minutes.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, you've improved this 100% from what I thought it was from the raw image in the back of your camera.
Okay, I'm going to read you what he actually wrote.
Please.
Your wedding photos shouldn't look like a magazine cover. And then he's got a girl on the toilet hugging her friend, which I love.
The bride on the toilet being hugged by a bridesmaid.
If they do, I honestly think something went wrong. If you spend 8 hours posing for the perfect images, you aren't actually at your wedding, you're on a film set, and you're the unpaid actor.
Yes.
I see couples terrified of a stray hair or a wrinkled dress. We convince ourselves that perfection protects the memory. But 20 years from now, you won't care about the perfect. You'll ache to remember how it felt when your dad saw you. Yeah, that just made me die when I read that, actually. I was like crying. Or the look your partner gave you when they thought no one was watching. Perfection is boring. Real love is messy. Real moments matter. And then this, little rock on emoji. So Jason, that's a person, an immediate follow for sure.
Yeah, dude.
But again, is this man sponsored by every brand wants him? I'm sure, but yes, of course, right?
Do.
But what he is still promoting is incredible work, really strong images, really, really important moments, and still reminding and educating his clients and other photographers at the same time, which is an art to get both of those audiences at one
Venn
time.
Diagram. Yep. We're trying
that real. Life and real moments matters. And he's not saying authentic and like all the buzzy words. He's literally showing his work. He's showing the receipts. He's like, no, I truly mean this. So we did digress here.
We did. I do want to talk about, because when I switched from Nikon to Canon was around the time I started using AI editing.
Oh yeah. Tell me more.
I started using Imagine AI and other companies at the same time, but I ultimately narrowed in on Imagine AI. And I wanted to know what your experience like, because you started shooting Canon and using Imagine
at the same time.
And then you swung from Canon to Nikon and you modified your preset. You changed it. Was it the same? What was that experience like? Because I feel like Noelle and other photographers listening and watching want to know what the switchover from shooting in presumably raw images, because that's all that they can process, what the raws look like.
It's not true.
Process through. They can do JPEGs?
Hell yeah.
They can on the phone. By the way, there's a phone app for Imagine now. And you should check it out. It's freaking
I just
rad.
posted a photo from it today.
You did. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Listen, I will say it's still in beta. It's a little bit clunky.
Everything's clunky in beta.
I hit
Relax.
the preview button and it was like error. And here's the thing. If you're a photographer, you make mistakes too. If there's something that's being rolled out to you, like I'm in a few Facebook groups that photographers are ruthless.
They're so angry
to some of these brands. And I just want to be like, have you breathed today? Have you put your feet firmly on the ground and taken one breath? Or are you just staying angry?
You know what's funny I thought about? Sorry, this is a bit of a digression here.
I digress.
We were driving to get our tires torqued yesterday before Kelly went to
it's important.
see her family.
You got to get them retorqued.
When you get them changed, under 100 kilometers or like 50 miles, get those things retorqued. They could fly off on the highway. It's terrifying. They probably won't, but you never know.
You never know.
You never know. As we're driving there, I'm going through Google to like get us to Canadian Tire so they can torque them there. And I'm like, you know what's crazy? The app I use probably the most of any app is Google Maps to get from point A to point B or look for businesses. I've never paid a red cent for this app. It's the most used app I feel like on the fucking planet. Sorry.
You don't
Penny.
pay. Well, you do pay for it.
You pay for it in your engagement and it's tracking your life, but like it's updated constantly. It's damn near perfect.
You don't pay for a G Suite?
I pay for G Suite, but I don't pay for Google.
Included. No, you can. Google Maps is free. You're right.
It's free.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's wild that it's so well put together and no one on the planet has to pay for that. We pay for it with our, like I said, engagement and like it tracking us and knowing where we are at all times.
I mean, I paid for it one time when I took it down a no winter maintenance road, but that's a story for another day.
It's one of those things that like, and to bring it back to photographers paying for apps and expecting things to be updated immediately. The companies that and this is to you, photographer who gets angry on the internet, you troll.
And I will say,
they're trying. They want to make a good product.
Yeah, we don't have angry people, and I absolutely love that.
We don't.
We have very normal people. We get the occasional weirdo commenting a weird thing, and then Tim and I LOL on the side, and then we block you. There's actually no warning period. We just block you.
Yeah, we don't have energy for that shit.
But I'm in, like support groups for like Imagine and Pic-Time and stuff like that. And I'm like, are you guys good? You pay $50 a month for this service and you're losing your freaking mind over people. Like, you never worked a customer service job in your life? Because actually we all work customer service. And you imagine if your clients spoke to you in the way that some of these people
you would not be doing this job.
It's actually criminal. And I don't like fight with people on the internet, but like I do kind of want to fight with people in some of these Facebook groups because I'm like, are you good? I won't do it. Listen, if you start seeing my name responding to people, I've lost the plot.
Or it's not her.
Or it's my AI slop version, Lindsay Coultier.
So tell me about your experience switching from Canon to Nikon through the Imagine environment and ecosystem of having it, understand your preset, how you like to edit and polish certain photos so that they're all uniform across the gallery. Was that easy? Was it hard? Was it enjoyable? What was that experience like for you, Lindsay?
Okay, so I have a lot of second photographers that work with me, and I do not ever say, to second shoot for me, you have to have like X camera, whatever.
What's one you don't want them to have though?
Sony.
Probably Fuji, maybe. I don't know.
Sony?
No Sonys?
I would be fine with Fuji actually, because my absolute OG Imagine profile was John Branch's.
Oh, I like John
So
Branch.
I would
John
be
Branch,
fine with Fuji.
John Branch.
Fuji would be fine. I would have zero issue with that.
Have we had him on the podcast? We haven't had him on the show.
John. He's not listening to this.
He's not listening.
If someone shot Sony, that would be fine.
Yeah.
I would have to do something differently because I don't. Actually, no, that's not true. Taylor's definitely shot Sony for me.
You shot a ton of Sony.
And I always have to make people look nicer in the images. So that's interesting. Not about Taylor's work, but just about what it does to people's faces. So listen, there's no science behind that. I'm just telling you what my eyeballs see. And here's the tier when it comes to nice cameras or cameras making people look nice. Okay. Up here, Nikon. Canon, Fuji, really low, Sony. Thank you so much.
You're
that's
welcome.
the science. So that's a science. Sorry, Kish, if you're listening to this, that's Taylor Sony guy. Respect. Anyways, back to the question at hand. When it comes to training an AI profile,
yes.
If you haven't done it yet, cool. This is exciting.
What a great time for you. It's a good time to sign up.
It's such a great time to sign up. You can get 1,500 free edits by using the link down in our description of this episode or by going to probably the link in either my or Tim's bio.
What's up?
And you'll get 1,500 free edits and you get to give it a try. If you haven't trained a profile, here's the goods. Here's what you need to know on training your own AI profile. You have a few different options when you get started with Imagine. You can use a talent profile. Those are free. They're included.
Yes.
Or you can go to the shop and you can buy one from somebody like Taylor or Nicole Ashley or maybe one day me.
You're coming in. Are you?
They're working on it.
Okay,
They're working on it. They're busy.
They're backwards engineering. Like they found a spaceship.
Yeah.
And they're like, we need to figure out how this works.
They're making a mobile app.
Oh, true.
And they're removing exit signs.
No, I mean with your stuff. Like they have to go through.
No, but they are going to make mine. But it's probably in the queue of work the engineers
Fair
actually
enough.
have
They
to
do put out a lot of updates. I will say for a software company.
Unbelievable.
Every time I run a new gallery through, which is multiple times a week, midway through uploading and culling, it's like, hey, we have a new version. Do you want to do it? I'm like, yeah.
Pretty sure 3 this weekend. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing is that when they have a bug, they actually correct it really
they
quickly.
Attack.
And it's really, if you're in the Adobe ecosystem, you know how rare it is for them to make updates when they realize that something is not
every
going
Olympics.
Well. And they're like, hey, we've got... No, they do it every September, right when you're about to get rocked by your editing. They're like, would you like a Lightroom
we
update?
deleted your catalog. You didn't want that, did you?
It's going to go into a folder called old Lightroom catalogs. Not kidding. That happened to me.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Jesus Christ.
So you have a couple of options. We're losing the plot so hard. You have a couple of options. You can do the talent profile. You can purchase one in the shop. So if you find a style of somebody that you like, you can just use theirs, and they've already trained it and they've already done all the hard work.
True.
Or you can train your own profile. So that's what I've done. Mine now is like 200,000 images that have been trained by it.
Crazy.
That's not necessary. You don't have to do that.
No, it's nuts.
But in order to train your own profile, you have to give it
10,000.
a body of work. It started at 3,000, in fact, my friend.
Oh.
Actually, there's even one more way.
Isn't there 10,000 to be able to edit things?
Nope.
Okay.
-3.
Oh.
It started maybe at 10 before, but it's 3 now.
Oh, well, it's gotta be-
And it used
How
to
about
be, and you also can. There's one other way, and I think our friend maybe Jess Collins started out this way, was by uploading a preset. That's cool.
You do that?
You can just upload a preset and then you like go through some images and you say how you would like the outcome to look, and just learns from that. What I would say the gold standard.
Please.
Because sometimes people come to me and they're like, I tried AI and I hated it. That girl on that reel that I just posted the other day. And to which my response was, which of course she did not answer, was, did you train your own profile, dude? Or did you use, say, a profile from a Canon shooter and you shoot Nikon, or you're a Canon shooter and you shoot Sony, and you expected it to work flawlessly for you with zero input? That's illogical. Okay? That's insane. So here's the best thing that you could possibly do.
Okay.
Upload every Lightroom catalog that you have access to. Upload literally everything you have shot.
That you enjoy.
You're
like,
obviously.
I delivered these. These are great. They match my current and going forward profile.
You want
of
it to
images.
learn from this work.
Bingo.
And if you want to make some tweaks later, say, oh, like those yellows are a little bit more acidic-y than I would like, you can go in and you can make adjustments to your profile at any time. And I've done it, and it's so nice. It allows you to update year after year without having to make an entirely new profile.
My favorite feature is when once I've done an album and I've delivered to the couple, I'll go back into to Imagine, and I'm always reminded, I'm like, it's like, do you want to upload the gallery of any changes you made so we can learn? I'm like, yes, please. And I'll upload those as I do another one. So it's literally learning from the things I've made, changes I've made based on the lighting of the gallery. Once I've gotten it back from Imagine, I make tweaks. Obviously, we all do.
Yes.
We take out things like stop signs, which is interesting because you told me new things are happening with Imagine. It removes stop signs now, which is pretty cool. But I'll make changes based on the lighting, based on the situation, and then it can learn from those things if you re-upload that gallery. So, but I want to know, Lindsay, specifically,
so here's the
what
thing.
was it like switching?
So I created the profile based on my old Lightroom catalogs, which included all of my stuff from my Nikon DSLR.
Yes.
It included my newer things on my Canon mirrorless system.
Yep.
Then all of my second stuff, which it's really helpful having a husband who does gear reviews.
Swaps a camera every week.
Yeah, he's changing systems all of the time.
Constantly.
And it's training a model based on things that you as a human being looked at and color corrected and did on your own. And that is so, so good. The other thing that I think is really important that I think people don't really realize, because one of the questions I got a lot when I was like talking to people about Imagine at trade shows and stuff is, how's it going to know that I wanted that to be backlit? Well, if you typically will take an image that's very intentionally backlit, and you'll know because you'll probably underexpose the shit out of it, hoping to retain all of the highlights and none of the foreground or whatever, right?
Yes.
It's going to know, because in every instance when you did that in the past, you edited to retain the highlights and keep it as a backlit, it's going to know because you've done it before.
Yeah.
If you are limiting yourself by saying, okay, well, I'm going to create a profile for my portrait work and I'm going to create a profile for my wedding work, it's not going to be able to learn quite as well.
No.
If you create a profile that has learned, like my profile has been trained on babies, on headshots, on boudoir, on weddings. And by the way, all of your stuff, even though it's AI, never gets seen by a human being. So even the people that work at Imagine, they actually can't see the images. The only thing that they can see is the name. So they can see the name of the project and the number of images, and that's it. They don't see what's actually in it. So if you are a boudoir photographer, rest easy. This is really sounding like an Imagine ad. But in order for me to have a thing that I can switch back and forth from different systems on, I just had to make a really diverse profile.
Catalog of,
So the more diverse of a sample that you can provide it, the better your outcome will be. And I think that's why I've been so successful at using Imagine and why I never have to really tweak things and I never really have to change things, is because it has learned from
So
years of work off of many different types of camera bodies and systems and lenses and seasons.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, like I'm shooting in the winter, I'm shooting in the summer, greens and fall colors and all of these things it has learned and it has figured out. So, you know, it's not a quick process to train a profile like that. It actually is really, really quick to upload your stuff and to like get it going though. The biggest thing I can say is that if you haven't started it yet because you're afraid of how long it will take, you're already years behind.
Start now.
Scarily. Like, and I mean that so emphatically.
But you can catch up real quickly. It just
can.
takes, you know, a couple hours
yeah,
of dedicated giving a shit.
And that's just like really not that serious. You're
And then if
you're losing a couple hours a week by not using it at least.
And if you sign up, you get 1,500 free edits, which is basically a free wedding. So I would say do that.
Do
that. If you haven't already, Noelle, if you listening at home who are not Noelle, are also feeling in the same boat, you want to start the process of switching systems, know that, you know, software like Imagine is here to support you and help you make that a seamless transition so you can get back to creating images that feel like your brand on a camera that is brand new to you, but something you really wanted in your heart. Lindsay, we've done it. We've answered the questions.
Hell yeah,
I feel, Noelle, we hopefully that helped you in some regard, some way to make a choice. And,
will you please report back?
Please let us know.
If you buy
Follow
yourself
up.
a Christmas gift in the form of a Z6 III, we would love to hear.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to tell you guys, actually I was thinking about this, man,
Please.
if you're still with us an hour or something
Wow.
in here, I would love
Thank you.
to thank you. And then I would also love to have a little request. As you
yes.
may have heard, Tim and I speaking about sponsors. First of all, if you have brands that you love, would you please send them to us in an Instagram message? Brands that you think would like to support us or that we should be supporting in some way and partnering with, please let us know. The other thing that I would love to say is if you have ever used a brand that we've recommended, whether we got an affiliate thing or not for it, doesn't really matter to us. Like, but if you switched to Nikon or you bought a lens or you bought a camera bag, you heard our gift guide episode and you purchased something from it, if you can let us know in a DM, just shoot us a message and say, hey, I heard that episode when you guys talked about the Brevity backpack and I went out and bought it. That's sick. Could you let us know? Because it actually really helps us to be able to tell people when we're giving them a little pitchy pitch. That, hey, people listen to us even though we don't have millions of subscribers yet.
On that note, please subscribe.
Tell your friends.
Comment, share.
Go get your mom's phone. She doesn't listen to podcasts.
She has no idea.
That's okay. Totally fine. You just go and you hit the follow button on your mom's Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We can't wait to be chatting with your mom in January. Thank you guys so much for being here. Happy ho holidays. We'll be back again next Monday.
You betcha.
And thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you to our dear friend Jen
Wolf
and Poppy for your mail. We loved it, and we will see you guys on Monday.
Sayonara, suckers.